With Bill C-10, the government will promote and demote content based on its level of Canadianness. Now, last week I asked the Prime Minister if he thought the film Ultimate Gretzky fit within this category of Canadian. He seemed to think so, and of course, most Canadians would also think so. I mean, after all, it's a film about a famous Canadian. It's largely filmed in Canada. But surprisingly, no, it's not. It's not Canadian. Doesn't make the cut. Odd. So, under Bill C-10, what exactly will make the cut, Mr. Prime Minister?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Bill C-10 aims to level the playing field between creators and web giants. It requires big, powerful foreign streamers to provide information on their revenues in Canada, financially contribute to Canadian stories and music, and make it easier for individuals to discover our culture. That is part of what this government has always stood for, to defend Canadian creators, to defend Canadian content, to promote it the same way Canada has for decades, ensuring that there is a Canadian proportion on radio shows, on TV networks. It's something we've always done to protect Canadians and culture, and we will continue to.
The Honourable Member for Lethbridge.
Here, it's clear the Prime Minister just has zero clue as to what is in this bill and the consequences that it will have for creators in Canada. That's right. Let's just try another one. Again, we're just having fun here. Canadian Bacon, it's a movie featuring all things Canada, stars our very own John Candy, a famous actor from Canada. Just curious, does the Prime Minister think that Canadian Bacon makes the cut?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I remember well that movie filled with quite horrible stereotypes about Canadians and Americans, and I won't pronounce on it because, you know what, we have a CRTC and we have a system that has established very clear rules in order to protect Canadian content, Canadian creators. Over the years, many artists have been able to succeed because Canadian radio plays a percentage of Canadian music, because Canadian networks have to put forward Canadian shows. It's something we've done to create a Canadian media and content creator industry in this country. We will continue to do that even into a more digital era.
The Honourable Member for Lethbridge.
I'm not sure that it gets easier than this. I mean, I'm just asking some simple Canadian cultural questions to a Prime Minister who wants to protect Canadian culture. So I thought this was going to be pretty simple, but he's right. It's not considered Canadian content, which is interesting. Now, this is important because under Bill C-10, this government will instruct the CRTC to regulate what is Canadian and what is not, what makes the cut and what is out. Now, under the current stipulation, as we've explored, Ultimate Gretzky doesn't make it. Canadian Bacon doesn't count. So again, what is Canadian enough to make the cut under Bill C-10?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
It's interesting because now we're seeing the Conservatives go into an area where we've long suspected them of wanting to go. That idea that we shouldn't be supporting and protecting Canadian culture, that we shouldn't be ensuring that Canadian artists can succeed, particularly faced with the extraordinary weight of the American cultural industry. Canadians, certain Conservative Canadians are no doubt frustrated that Canadian radio stations always play about 1/3 Canadian content, that Canadian TV networks have to put forward Canadian content. It's something that has created and supported Canadian artists that Conservatives don't support.